Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you are new here. Today's video is going to be a second trimester update because I am now in the third trimester, which is so crazy. This pregnancy has honestly gone by extremely quick. This video, I wanted to talk about the second trimester, all of the different things that you experience during the second trimester, including symptoms, the types of doctor's appointments that you have, and just like miscellaneous things that happen to you. Of course, keep in mind that everybody's bodies are different, everybody's pregnancies are different, so some of these you might relate to and some of them you may not. So the first category that I want to talk about is all of the doctor's appointments that you have during the second trimester. There are a couple big ones that happen during the second trimester. The first one is the gender. So this is something that's a little bit different for everybody, but this is what I experienced. So we decided to do a blood test at 12 weeks to look for genetic deformities and stuff like that. It also determined the gender, so we found out the gender at 14 weeks. Along with finding out the gender from the blood results, we also had a ultrasound done as well, just to confirm that that was actually correct, because I just wanted to be 100% sure. So I had that done at 15 weeks. We had a gender ultrasound performed as kind of like an extra thing. The second big doctor's appointment that you guys will have during the second trimester is the 20-week anatomy ultrasound. This ultrasound is super important because it takes a really in-depth look at the baby, how they are growing, how they're measuring, and everything like that. But this appointment is also a big appointment where a lot of people will find out the gender. At my anatomy ultrasound, I'll go ahead and put like a couple pictures of some of the ones that we got from it, but everything looked really good. Definitely had a super active baby that day, pretty much every day, but during that appointment, she was not cooperating. So we did not get like the best photos, but everything looked good with her, which is the most important thing. And she was measuring 5 days ahead at that appointment. I don't know how she's measuring now, but that is how she measured at that appointment. And then the last big appointment that you have during the second trimester is the infamous glucose test. So this test is designed to determine whether you have gestational diabetes, which is something that a lot of pregnant women can get or have. I don't know too much about it, but I just had it done yesterday actually, and it's honestly not too bad. I don't know how every single appointment goes, but the way that mine went is I went in, I had a morning appointment. I was told not to eat a whole lot, so I literally just drank water. I had plain oatmeal with nothing in it. I went in for my appointment. As soon as I got there, they had me drink this drink. There's like different flavors. I had an orange one with Harper. This time I had fruit punch. It just has like a ton of sugar in it. It honestly tastes pretty good. It just tastes like Hawaiian punch, but you take that, you wait an hour, and then you have your blood drawn. So I had my normal appointment in between there where they just kind of like measure, take your weight, do the heartbeat and everything like that, and then I got my blood drawn. I'm still waiting on the results right now. I'm hoping to get them by the end of the week so I can kind of like chill for the weekend, hoping that I passed. I did with Harper. I was like right in the middle, which is good. So we'll see. By the time I post this, I will have the results. So if I passed or not, I'll go ahead and insert it here on the screen so you guys can see. But yeah, not too bad. I did feel a little bit lightheaded after, but once I had some food, I was good. The next big category that I want to talk about is symptoms. So this is one of the categories that's going to be different for everybody. Already this pregnancy has been so different than my pregnancy with Harper. So I've had a lot more symptoms, a lot more new symptoms and things happening that are just so different. First thing, morning sickness. So my morning sickness didn't 100% go away after I hit the second trimester. Once I did hit the second trimester, it did ease up a little bit. I was a lot better, but I still was really nauseous in the morning and right before bed. It wasn't until about 15 weeks that it completely kind of like went away. I didn't have any more food aversions and I just kind of felt like myself again, which was Honestly, so nice. That was like the roughest part of this pregnancy by far. Another big symptom that is something that I had with Harper but is a lot worse this time around is sciatic pain. This pregnancy, I've had to take it easy on certain workouts and just really be careful what I do, because if I push myself too hard, my sciatic pain is so bad this time around, like I literally can't even like walk. Kind of going off of the sciatic pain is the ligament pain that I experienced this time. I think I talked about this in my first trimester video as well, because it was something that did give me a lot of anxiety in the beginning. But I did have some pretty intense ligament pain from like 17 weeks until I think about 21 weeks. It was like pretty consistent and just like this like tugging and pulling feeling. And it was just like honestly like very uncomfortable. Anytime I experience any pain or anything like that during pregnancy, it does give me a little bit of anxiety, I'm not gonna lie. So the ligament pain has gone away, but I still am like very, very uncomfortable. In fact, that'll lead into the next symptom, which is BRAXTON HICCS. I started experiencing those around 17 weeks, very sporadic, just kind of like random and weren't too bad. Now at this point, if I physically push myself too much, not only do I get the sciatic pain, but I will start to get BRAXTON HICCS as well. They started off kind of as like tightening of the stomach, and when they get really bad, it actually feels almost like a contraction. So my doctor told me whenever that happens to just like sit down, chill, relax, drink some water, and make sure that they obviously don't continue or that I can time them, which again stresses me out a little bit. This time around also I've experienced like a little bit more swelling. So I didn't actually start like swelling in my pregnancy with Harper until probably the last month, and it was usually when I was either out in the heat or like doing something or pushing my body a little bit too hard. This time around, when it's like really, really hot, no matter how much water I drink, I do start to swell up a little bit. And by the end of the day, I'm like a little bit, like it's like honestly nothing like serious. Like it's not intense swelling, but I get to the point by the end of the day where I can't take my ring off my finger. But it's honestly not that bad. And then kind of going off of that one, heat. I was pretty fine being hot when I was pregnant with Harper. This time, if I'm like outside in the heat, I start to get really like dizzy, lightheaded, and feel a little bit nauseous. So I try to be really careful about how much time I spend outside. Again, it has nothing to do with like how hydrated I am, because I drink so much water. It's just the heat doesn't really agree with me this time around. I also have been extremely out of breath, which you guys will probably notice in this video. I hope it's not like super obnoxious, but I am definitely a lot more out of breath this pregnancy, even from like the very beginning. Now I'm at a point where the baby is starting to kind of like press more on like my stomach and my lungs, and there are times where I'm literally laying there like, I can't breathe. And then a super duper random symptom that is not something that everybody experiences, but this happened to me with Harper a couple times and has happened a lot more this time around, is getting bloody noses. It's super duper random, but every now and then I will just randomly get a bloody nose. There's nothing that even brings it on. It'll just like happen out of nowhere, which is kind of annoying. I just had one like a few days ago. We were about to leave to go get some groceries, and I literally was like in the bathroom putting on chapstick, and all of a sudden my nose just started bleeding out of nowhere. So that's a fun one. That is one that not a lot of people talk about or know about either. And then the last symptom, which is something that is a little bit on the grosser side. So I'm assuming there's no guys watching this video. And if you are somebody that gets grossed out easily, like I'm not gonna go in depth about it, but I am gonna talk about it for a second. And that is that I already lost my mucus plug. So if you don't know what that is, Google it. I'm not gonna explain it too much because again, it's not like I mean, at the end of the day, it happens during pregnancy. Everybody has one. Whether you lose it and know it or see it is different for everybody, but it does exist. And I already lost mine actually yesterday morning right before my doctor's appointment. Definitely freaked me out a lot because I lost mine at I think 38 weeks with Harper. So it was like literally right before I was like kind of getting ready to go into labor, and that's like a normal time frame to lose it. I'll be 29 weeks tomorrow. So obviously losing it during this time frame is a little bit scary because obviously sometimes that can mean that labor is around the corner. My doctor told me, obviously since that happened, keep an eye on things. If I get contractions or any symptom of labor, to definitely let her know. I guess you can lose it a little bit earlier on, as early as even 20 to 24 weeks, and it just like regenerates. So hoping that that is the case. I've heard that people will lose it early and they'll lose it again later and go on to give birth more late term. Hopefully I lose it again later on and everything's good. The last category is kind of just like miscellaneous things because I don't know how to categorize this because everything's a little random. The first thing is like movement, feeling your baby move and kick and everything like that. So I felt this baby like move at about 12 weeks. I think I was 11 weeks and 6 days or something like that. And I could just like feel her moving in there, which honestly was insane. I asked my doctor, I'm like, is that even possible? And she was like, yeah, I mean, if it's your second pregnancy, like it's definitely possible. And I have a posterior placenta, which means that my placenta is towards the back, which means that I could feel the baby move a little bit sooner. And I actually felt her kick at 16 weeks 1 day. I felt Harper kick at 16 weeks 0 days. So that is like the first time that I actually felt a kick that I was like, that was definitely a kick and not anything else. She officially made her way into my ribs at 25 weeks, which is something that I was kind of like dreading this time around because Harper used to kick my ribs so hard. In fact, she pushed one of mine out of place and she came out with a cut on her heel from it. So it's a little bit intense. So I was a little bit nervous about that. This baby has already surpassed that. She found my ribs so early on and she kicks way harder than Harper. I don't have a knocked out rib yet. I hope that I don't, but she definitely kicks hard and it keeps me up sometimes at night. The next thing is hiccups. So this is like one of the like cutest things when you finally like experience it. So with hiccups, sometimes it could be like hard to tell if that's what's going on or not. The best way to describe it's like a very, very light kick that's in like a rhythmic pattern. So you'll kind of just like feel this and then you'll know that those are hiccups. So I felt that for the first time at about 26 weeks and she pretty much gets them every day now, sometimes twice a day. So the next thing is belly size. And again, this is so different for everybody. I would say at this point in my pregnancy, my belly is pretty much the same size that I was when I was pregnant with Harper. I feel like I definitely grew a lot faster and then it kind of like evened out a little bit. Go ahead and like insert a clip of like what my belly looks like now. Definitely feel like pretty big. My doctor said that I am measuring right on point for 28 weeks. So last thing that I want to talk about is cravings. I feel like I've never been that person that has like insane pregnancy cravings. I never really have. I didn't really with Harper. I just had like certain things that I was like drawn to a little bit more. This pregnancy, I definitely have a sweet tooth again, and it might be like a little bit more intense of a sweet tooth. I am normally like a salty type of person. Like I love salty things or like savory things, but this time I definitely love everything sweet. I don't have like one particular like sweet item that I'm like, I have to eat this every single day. I've been, especially recently because of my glucose test, but I've been like really strict about like not eating too much sugar recently. The one thing that I'm already like kind of getting cravings for again though is like Lucky Charms. Other than that, I don't really have anything crazy that I'm craving. I've been craving like a lot of like fruit and stuff. Like I love fresh fruit and honestly just like a lot of like healthy things if I'm being completely honest. I feel like I didn't eat the healthiest with Harper. Like I had a lot of cravings for things like Chick-fil-A, In-N-Out, Mexican food and stuff like that, and I definitely would give in to them. This time, because my situation's a lot different, my husband was deployed when I was pregnant with Harper, so it was just like easy for me to like stop and get food on the way home from work. This time I'm like cooking dinner every night and I'm staying home, so I've been eating a lot healthier, giving into certain cravings at times, but also just like not trying to eat too much processed food and just trying to be clean, lots of like veggies and stuff like that. So that is pretty much going to complete it for today's video. I don't have like any products or anything to talk about. The only products that I will talk about are my water bottle because I seriously love that water bottle. I had like a lot of questions. I posted this TikTok that randomly kind of like went viral. It has like 1 million views now. I don't even know how, but I had a lot of questions of people asking about that water bottle, and I couldn't respond to every comment because there was too many. But it's from Amazon. It is literally my favorite water bottle. It really helps me keep track of my water intake, which is so good. But I feel like I honestly drink so much water anyways, but it is nice to keep track of everything. So I'll mention that as like one of my favorite products because it's something that I use every single day. I'm still taking the same vitamins, still using like the same skincare products. One of my favorite things right now is my biker shorts from Blocky. I'll go ahead and link those below and put a picture, but I wear those like every day. They're like leggings, but for summertime, so it's great. But other than that, that is going to complete it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm definitely curious to know your guys' like second trimester stories, your symptoms and everything like that. So definitely leave those in the comments down below. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you aren't already subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you guys are notified every time I post a new video. But with all that being said, I will talk to you guys in my next one. Bye!